Thud, thud, thud. Beep, beep. What's going on, guys? This is Empty Box, and this is Assetto Corsa Evo, where today we're learning bad ideas on bad ideas, driving the F40 LM around the Nürburgring, because that's fun. No, really, highly recommended. It's the best fun I've had in AC Evo by a mile and a half. I've become one of them Nürburgring track day bros. Oh no. Not really though. But this car makes it worth it. It is fun. It is unruly. Half GT car, half Can-Am car. All turbo, all the lag. So Assetto Corsa Evo. This is going to be the negative portion of the video right about now. I don't like this game. I don't recommend it. It's pretty much broken for me. Early access, I get that, but what you'll see throughout this video is the game will freeze for a second. It will run normal for like a second and a half, 2 seconds, and then it will freeze again for another second, and then it will go back to normal. It is totally random. There's nothing happening on screen that I've been able to notice. There's nothing happening in terms of like the AI. Doesn't matter if it's a solo practice session or if it's racing against the AI or doing an online race. It happens all the time. Should also mention, doesn't matter if I'm recording or not recording, don't have SimHub running or do have SimHub running, it's just incessant. There's nothing I can do about it. I've updated graphics drivers, I've gone through the graphics settings and tweaked some stuff and tried to see if something was going wrong after a lot of people were complaining that DLSS was causing problems with AC Rally. Well, of course, that is running on a different graphics engine. But yeah, anything and everything. Like, believe me, I've fully tried at this stage. At this point, we're just gonna have to accept it is what it is. It does make online racing entirely unplayable, though, in my opinion, because you become a liability to become a spaceman. In my testing, just to see if, you know, maybe I could race online because it wasn't having to calculate like the player cars or whatever. I did one online race and to the moon. You'll see that clip at the end of the video. But so there's that. Also, the AI is absolutely abysmal here in this game. Standard Assetto Corsa behavior. Yep, there's the stutter. Yep, that's... You'll love to see it. But the AI is standard Assetto Corsa, just not good. I've been given zero reason to hope or expect that things will get better in the future on that front, because I've yet to see anything from this game where it's like, oh, they just need to tweak it and tune it. And I know some people will say, oh, well, ACC had decent AI. No, ACC did not have decent AI, as well as that was one very specific type of car, you know, that needed to be, you know, figured out. You know, GT3 cars, GT2, GT4. That's a pretty small window compared to Mini Cooper to modern Formula One car. You know, they can definitely tune things a little bit more specifically. But one thing I do not have concerns about is the driving experience. Because let's be real, Kunos has always done well on that front. This car is no different. This thing is so fun around here. You know, comparing to the original Assetto Corsa, there's the Ferrari F40 Step 3, which I think is supposed to be kind of like an F40, but not really, with the F40 LM. You know, I did a quick little test drive just before I did this video and found that thing to be just a mess. You know, it does what it does, and what it wants to do is just like go ballistic. Whereas this is far more controllable and friendly, like a car should be. I mean, yes, this is a 1980s Ferrari GT car with a big wallop and turbo in the back, but like it actually takes to bumps decently, you know, like it's got suspension, it's got tires that actually do, you know, tire and rubbery things. that car and the original Assetto Corsa is just like, oh, we're ping-ponging all over the place. Which really mirrors my experience with pretty much everything here in Assetto Corsa Evo compared to the original. Like, for example, the E30 M3 is always a car I gravitate towards. And here around the Nürburgring, in the original one, you're just bumping all over the place, doing like ping-ponging off of the bumps constantly. Whereas here in Evo, it actually feels like the car has suspension. And like, it's not a huge change. It's not a revelation or anything, but it's like, that's a great place for that to happen. Yeah, low speed corner, put the power down. Yeah, let's go ahead and freeze the game. But it's not like a huge change, but it is something that does help make things more fun and enjoyable and approachable to drive. And it does kind of give me kind of that Live for Speed feel, which if you're familiar with that game and you're one of those people that's kind of clung on to that, I don't know, are there any people that are still sticking to Live for Speed only here in 2025? But like, this is as close to that like feel that I've come to in a sim racing game, where it's just like, oh yeah, I could just hop in this thing and just drive the thing absolutely sideways without really too much care in the world. Now that said, there is an issue, and this is a multifaceted issue, where basically every single car on corner exit will try and swap ends on you without warning, no matter what. This is obviously a very, very poor car to demonstrate that in, because of course the turbocharged Ferrari from the 1980s is going to want to do bad things to the driver. But you know, like a Mazda MX-5 Cup car, for example, you know, you'll be coming out of the corner, you'll be unwinding the steering wheel in like a third, fourth gear corner, and then all of a sudden, you know, you're swapping ends. You know, you got the counter steer going on, and just like, what's going on here? Where'd that come from? Like, no warning, out of nowhere, just vicious oversteer. And, you know, for example, the Porsche Cup car, always a test I gravitate towards. You know, driving that thing in ACC, and then driving it here in Evo. You know, no ABS, no traction control on that car, the way I do my testing. Like, it's all the same. It's all the same, like, it's braking at the same spot. You know, it feels the same up until you get to corner exit. Whereas that car in Evo, or in ACC, you know, you have infinite rear engine grip hacks. And you really don't need to worry about putting the power down all that much. Whereas here in Evo, it's almost like the car is a front engine car in the sense that you're chasing the rear end, which I think is just a behavior that will be tweaked and tuned and improved. Because one thing I will mention, there was a post about their physics updates and all that stuff and optimum tire pressures. Much like the the other Assetto Corsa games, you know, the tires here in Evo do have an optimum tire pressure where you do want to get them, you know, absolutely dialed into, because the tires are most happy when you get that one omnipotent tire pressure no matter what. And by default, every car I've driven here in Evo is like a good 2 psi too low. You pump up the tires a little bit, you add up that, add some air to get to that optimum setting, and it does help that behavior a good bit. It doesn't fully address it, but it does make an impact. I've also noticed a lot of cars are running a lot of rear camber, which again is just going to serve to exacerbate that issue. And then there's also the issue of tire temperature and tire heat, which my understanding is that's more or less a work in progress. In their post, they kind of indicated that the bulk of their time was spent with the SF25, the Ferrari F1 car, and getting that all tweaked and tuned and all that stuff, which is fine and dandy. I would test that car out, but I don't really have much interest in modern F1 cars anyways, as well as the aero on that is pretty much entirely broken, which renders the car like 15 kilometers an hour slower in a straight line, and there's nothing you can do about it right now. So, but they are aware of that issue, and they're working on that. So, but I do get the distinct feeling that they might have applied values derived from their SF25 research and data, and just kind of like extrapolated that to the slick tires. And that's why it seems like a lot of tires just don't come up to temperature really quickly at all. Like driving this car around Donington Park, for example, you know, I'd find it'd take like 6 or 7 laps, even on a clear sunshiny day, to get the tires up to temperature alone. Just because, like, what's going on here? You know, like, that doesn't quite pass the sniff test, you know? Like, that doesn't seem intentional. You know, in that post, they mentioned the difference between, you know, the core and surface temperatures and all that stuff, and I think, you know, based on what you'll see down the straightaway here, like, you lose all the surface temperature so quickly, even though theoretically you have core temperature, which should be helping the tires stay warm. So I think it's just something they need to tweak and tune, and that will also help fix that issue up a little bit. But the best way to fix that issue is by applying more turbo boost, which is why we're going to turn this up to 100 and literally do one more lap here. Always got to remember, just because you turn the boost up doesn't mean you turn the grip up. Braking zones just got that much longer. Ah. Not good. Way out of rhythm. Never know there. I feel like second might be faster, but third is definitely a whole host of a load easier to manage. I chickened out. I chickened out at 199. But yeah, go ahead and add some air pressure in. The number they put out there, if I remember correctly, was 27. See what you can do. Yeah. And then you look at the Delta and it's like, you know, this car becomes exponentially more demanding the more turbo boost you apply. And for what? This car does make me excited for any potential Group C cars that may come. It's just like so controllable compared to what you typically experience a car like this. Ah. 180-mile-an-hour upshift. Always love to see that on a road course. Just waiting on the rear end there. Ah! Fail. Third gear is our friend. Third gear would do us no wrong. Third gear, what are you doing? Ah, that was bad. Short shift. Whee! We died. We screwed it up. We're having too much fun. We're doing too well. Things are going too smoothly. Should have expected that. But anyways, so Corsa Evo, very in my book, but Ferrari F40 LM put a smile on your face. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.